Why drive hours to visit an attraction somewhere else when the most important historic site in Tennessee is in your own backyard? In celebration of Tennessee's 193rd birthday, visit Blount Mansion during the month of June, when Tennesseans can buy an admission ticket at full price and get the second adult ticket for half price. Come see this historic treasure for yourself. Blount Mansion, 200 West Hill Avenue.
Proclamation declaring Tennessee the nation's 16th state. The wheels of statehood were set into motion at the historic Blount Mansion. Today, local leaders of our century commemorated that special occasion with a statehood luncheon. Former Senator and White House Chief of Staff Howard Baker, Mayor Victor Ashe, and Chris Whittle were in attendance. Those at the luncheon said Knoxvillians and Tennesseans were indeed fortunate to enjoy what some have called the most important historical site in Tennessee.
It's considered the most important historical site in Tennessee, and for good reason. On June 1st, 1796, President George Washington signed into law the Congressional Act creating Tennessee as the nation's 16th state. And that event is due in part to Governor William Blount, who set the wheels of statehood in motion.
Somehow over the years, especially the last 60 years when this place was bought and set aside by Blount Mansion Association, it's been a place where people have begun to realize that so much history is caught up here, and that if we lose it, we have lost a large part of our identity.
But today, these devoted Tennesseans stood side by side in the mansion's backyard to also celebrate the bicentennial of the U.S. Constitution. It was also the day a new exhibit was revealed, William Blount and the U.S. Constitution. It includes an exact replica of the Constitution, and it's signed by William Blount. The only Tennessean to sign the document, but ironically, he wasn't representing Tennessee at the time. It wasn't even a state. He's representing North Carolina. The exhibit also includes original Blount letters, engravings, and artifacts, a collection worth more than its monetary value.
I think the people of Tennessee should be very proud that they have such a lovely place to bring the emphasis that is needed today on the Constitution of the United States.
I saw a lot of things in there that reminded me of my younger days.
Just a couple years ago.
Yes, or so.
Lori Golden, TV6 Live, Eyewitness News.
Ann Rollins is down at Blount Mansion with a special treat. What do you have for us, Ann?
Well, Sam, it will be Christmas by candlelight here at the Blount Mansion tonight and tomorrow night. It is the 10th annual candlelight tour, and it goes from 7 to 9. It's a real treat to all the senses. The walkways to all 4 buildings will be illuminated, plus inside the candles will light the way as well. The mansion will be decorated as it would have been in colonial times, and just across the way, the Craighead Jackson House will be decorated in true Victorian Christmas style. A classical guitarist will give us the festive sounds, and a bit of open hearth cooking will supply all the smells and tastes of the holiday. So a real Christmas treat tonight here at the Blount Mansion, and at 11 I will give you a special walking tour of the mansion. Tonight it was a walk with the spirit of Christmas past at the Blount Mansion. Outside, candles light the way as visitors take a walk through history. It's the 10th annual candlelight tour of the mansion. At least 500 people are expected to take time out from their busy holiday schedules to enjoy the sights, sounds, and scents of a colonial Christmas.
We give them an idea of 2 centuries worth of Christmas decorations. But really the fun side about it is that they can take a break from this Christmas's fast and furious pace.
The kitchen is filled with Christmas treats, from popcorn for the tree to, of course, the traditional gingerbread man. A guitarist softly serenades you as you wander from room to room. They're all decked out in fruit and flowers and the glow of shimmering candlelight.
I think it could be a romantic experience. All the elements are there.
Oh, yes, they are.
The William Blount Mansion, located in Knoxville, Tennessee, was built in 1792 as the executive residence for William Blount, governor of the Southwest Territory. Blount Mansion is Knoxville's only registered national landmark and was a complete departure from other early Knoxville dwellings. Stepping inside Blount Mansion is like taking a trip back in time. The Blount Mansion is owned and operated by the Blount Mansion Association, and in addition to offering tours held throughout the year, Blount Mansion offers various orientation programs and workshops designed to enlighten many of its guests. Stephen White, Programs Coordinator, explains.
Actually, there's several different kinds of programs, different specialized programs that fall under school programs for students K through 12 are programs that focus on different parts of history. We have programs for children on social history, programs they can relate to. We're teaching them social history through the eyes of kids their age. We teach them, say for instance, what it was like to be a kid during that period. You know, what was schooling like? What kinds of chores would you have? We might have programs on women's history. We'd have sort of a women's history slant to the interpretation of the house. Throughout, we'd give them an idea what it was like to be a woman during that period. We can have political history slants, and so on and so forth.
Walking around the grounds of this garden, there's an awe of quiet. It must be an 18th century quiet. And somehow the hospitality the Blounts brought to this mansion still remains to greet each visitor and help keep the past alive. For Weekend, I'm Phyllis Hyman.
We're back on Side by Side in Knoxville, Tennessee, the gateway to the Smokies.
And it was here, near James White's fort, that this entire area of East Tennessee was first settled, just a little more than 200 years ago. It was in 1786 that General James White and his family came across the mountains from North Carolina and put down roots here. By 1787, only a year later, James White had to build a crude fort around his home to protect his family and the new settlers from Indians in the area.
You know, using his own house as one corner of the fort, he built 3 more cabins nearby.
In between the cabins, a stockade of posts and a gate, and presto, Knoxville was born.
The city's first mansion was built a short time later, in 1792. That was when President George Washington appointed William Blount, one of the signers of the Constitution, as governor of the territories. His was one of the first frame houses built west of the Alleghenies, and this was truly a mansion when everything else around here was a wilderness. Let's go inside and see where the state's Constitution was born.
This is truly fascinating. Here's a book that was published 200 years ago in 1788. It's called An Introduction to Natural Philosophy. And it must have dealt with the heavens. That's what natural philosophy must have been 200 years ago, because it deals with astronomy and astrology and where the sun is in relation to the other planets. It's only one book in a big collection of books in William Blount's study, or his office, here at the Blount Mansion. And Director Kent Wentworth is the man who kind of knows about this collection. And you tell me, Kent, that right here is where the state's Constitution was written.
Right, in the governor's office, William Blount and several other gentlemen wrote Tennessee's first state constitution. But there's a catch to it. You can see that the room is very small. They had to sign the document a couple of blocks from here, up on Gay Street in downtown Knoxville. There were 55 delegates working on the Constitution, and you can see there's just no way to get them all in this room, so they signed it in another building, right?
Yeah, that's great. Life must have been pretty primitive back then, 200 years ago. Was this the frontier?
Oh, without a doubt, it was the frontier. Knoxville was really nothing more than dirt roads and log cabins, and that's why we refer to a 5-room frame house as Blount Mansion. Right. It was really quite the exception in this area. And it really served as the White House for the Southwest Territory. All kinds of people were entertained here. Statesmen such as Andrew Jackson, frontiersmen, and Indian chiefs. All those people would come to see the governor here for political reasons as well as for social reasons.
So the state really grew up right here around this mansion.
Exactly, and at that time this really was the frontier.
Well, Tennessee and the rest of the country has grown up a heck of a lot in the last 200 years.